Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mailbox Mastermind Call that we have every single Monday morning for Mailbox Power affiliates to help you grow your Mailbox Power business and also whatever other business you have, because we know how well, if we promote Mailbox Power, it grows our own business. But whether you're growing Mailbox Power or a different business, you're here as an affiliate and are eligible to earn commissions. So why not learn how to share it with other professions and other business owners so that you can get your system, let's see, paid for? Or what if you could create a marketing budget from sharing Mailbox Power that not only paid for Mailbox Power, but paid for digital ads you wanted to do, or maybe you wanted to advertise in a magazine, or maybe you've joined BNI or some other networking group. And what if your affiliate income paid for all of that? And so it wasn't costing you a dime to do Mailbox Power at all. It was an income generating machine.
Yep,
That's what I have. I don't know
that's
about
what
you,
I have.
but I have an and I'm glad Lulu said that, because Lulu didn't used to have
That's
really an
right.
income generating machine. And I believe that I can say this with certainty, that it is as a result of these calls and some
100%.
one-on-one coaching and some phone calls one-on-one with her that have made her Mailbox Power a profitable business, that it is a profit center for her. Is that
1000%.
awesome? Well, thank you, Lulu. We're here to help you. This is not about Mike and I, not at all. We, for those that don't know our background, most of you know our background. I served 27 years in the military, and Mike served over 45 years of law enforcement. So we are all about service to others. And if you can't tell that from our careers and now our businesses, then we're doing something wrong. But we want to see others succeed. Whether we profit financially from it or not, I love to hear stories like Lulu's. It doesn't matter that I don't profit financially from her success, or Kimberly's, or Machen's. I love, I just love hearing stories like that. So with that, we always start the week with the wins. And I know Irma had a presentation last week, so I'm going to put her on the spot. I'm not even going to ask her to raise her hand. I'm going to tell her she has to raise her hand because we're all curious how it went. So how did it go, Irma?
So the presentation went really well. Everybody was engaged. You know, you could tell when people were engaged and participating and asking questions. And I got good feedback after it. I did not get any. This was just, what was it, last Thursday? So I had them, whoever wanted a little gift for me, there was a thing there, and I got 7 people to do that.
Woohoo.
And I had a couple people come up to me saying, I really like this. I need to do this. And, I sent one guy I said, who loves dogs? I put a picture of my dog card in there that I send dogs birthday cards.
Mm-hmm.
And, they got a chuckle out of that. So I even sent him a birthday card for actually his dog's birthday is not until, I don't know, 8 months away. So I sent him a card saying he's going to get a card. The dog, right, to the
Yep.
dog. So, I mean, it just went real well. Nobody called me Thursday or Friday because I said, if you sign up this week, I'll give you some of the cards I made and, an hour of my time and all this stuff. But that didn't seem to work. So we'll see. I do think I'll get a couple people from it.
Okay.
Um, and I think I'm going to join that organization. You have to pay to join, but then you're
like a preferred vendor type of thing?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
What's the organization? I forgot what you told me or told us. Is
It's
it
called what?
insurance people
Yeah,
or
it's yeah. Let me find it because
just
they're all
yeah,
over the country. So you all ought to check into it. It's
'cause
sorry.
insurance agents do so well with Mailbox Power. That's
Do.
I mean
So,
it real estate seems to
NABIP, National Association. I can't even see it. The logo is
well,
big.
just put it in the chat maybe.
Yeah, I gotta find. I'll
yeah.
find the email from her.
So I have a question for you, Irma. You said a few people came up to you afterwards. Were
Yes,
those people that filled out the slip?
I don't know. I think so. Like the one, I know I asked the one guy because he seemed really engaged and interested, and he's the one that had the dog. And I said, "Give me your dog's information. Did you, scan the code?" So he said, "No, I didn't. I should have." So I went back and I put that back up on the screen. So then he did. I
Okay.
don't know if the other one did. The one of the board members said, we should use this for our chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having a meeting in a few weeks, I think. So they're going to talk about that. But there were two board members there, one that invited me and the other one. And I know the president loves Mailbox Power because she's used it before, and she was all excited. She was out of town
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. So
So here, can I help anybody who's doing a presentation? Or actually, before I say anything, did anybody clue in when Irma said several people came up and she's not sure if they filled out the link?
I should have said, did you fill out the link, right?
It doesn't even matter. Do you know their name?
You know what? I got two people's cards, business cards, that I was so busy the rest of the week, I didn't even look at anything else other than getting those cards out.
Yep.
But I'm pretty
So,
sure I have two people's cards. And the third one, he had a question, the one board member, and I didn't know the I knew it before, but it was where does this information come from? And it comes from Equifax, is it
ultimately, the data, it's a composite of data from multiple resources, but my understanding is it ultimately comes from Experian. Um,
Experian, right? So I called him right back. I called him within an hour after I got back to my office and followed up with him and told him it came from Experian because I checked in with Mailbox Power. And
mhm.
that's when he told me his meeting. I was hoping they were going to sign up right away, but their meeting's in a few weeks. So,
So here's what I would have done, Irma, unless
okay.
somebody wants to chime in. Kimberly, you had your mute off. Did you want to chime in? Anybody else want to chime in before I do? So here's what I would have done, Irma. When they come
Okay.
up and they're like, I need to be using this for my business. Great. Let's set a time so I can do a one-on-one presentation with you and understand how you would like, you've obviously seen how this can enhance your business, but let's sit down and figure out exactly what it was that you saw that triggered you to say, I need this system for my business. And let me answer any questions you have and get you started. Can I get a business card from you? And can we set a coffee meeting? Never end a conversation of somebody who's come up to you and said, I need this, I want this, something like that, and not know who that person is, not get their business card so that you can secretly send them a card, whether they filled out the form or not, because now you can go be a private investigator and go find
Find out where they are.
them. So close that circle. You left
Yeah.
that circle wide open, which might be why you didn't get signups. And you might still not have gotten signups, but you might have gotten coffee meetings or meetings on the calendar where you met them in their office. And you can say, if you book an appointment with me today, I will extend that offer to when we meet.
Love
But you
it.
have to book the appointment today. That would be mine. Marie, I was hoping Marie would chime in because Marie's the master of communication because of bank. I'm like, what's that word? Bank. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know about being a master, but I made my living speaking for a long time, decades ago. And a couple of things I'm just going to throw out there. One is, I think it's really important to have an attendance form that you hand out to each person at the end of the presentation.
Wow.
And the attendance form should have something on it like this: your name, your contact information. And I know another group that would benefit from hearing your presentation with examples like my husband's office, my professional association, give some specific examples so that plants the seed. And then I would like to learn specifically how I could use this with my very own business. Check mark, so now you have something from each person, and the way you get them to turn it in is you have a drawing, and you're using this for a drawing, and you show them what they're going to get. So, there's an incentive for them to turn it in. But now you're leaving with the names, hopefully the contact info if they filled it out, and with maybe some check marks with next to, I would like to learn specifically how this could benefit my business, and maybe some other groups to speak to. So that would be my 2 cents.
That's brilliant.
I've actually done that, Marie, but I didn't think to tell Irma that before she went to her presentation, because I've been queuing in on do the QR code so that they fill it out, because so many times when I did those forms, I couldn't read the handwriting. It was, some of them are terrible. But yes, I used to do that all the
The
time.
other thing that would be, I love that. I'm going to do that from now on. The other thing that I like that you said, or that maybe Brenda said, was if you can't, here's the deal for this week, but if you make an appointment with me, I'll extend it to, when we have that appointment, because I want to make sure I answer your questions before you make, the commitments.
Yep, exactly. Any other, Kimberly?
I would get them and take a selfie with them so I had their picture so I could put it in an email or put it in the car.
Oh, poo.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Poo. Yes.
That's what Casey is always trained on. He said, take a selfie with them.
Yep. Yep.
Well, and if you can take a selfie, with you and the group, and then you can send a card to everyone thanking them for attending.
Right.
With that photo.
Oh, cool.
Genius.
And I've done that before too. I don't know why. I need to put this in a file, and every time I'm going to do something, because even when I present on other things, I could do the same things. All these things you talked about are valuable.
That's you just keyed in, Irma, on something that I think we all need to have, and I'm okay at this. I'm not great at this, but I know I need to do it. So I can tell you to do it. Doesn't mean that I do it all the time. And you would think I would do it all the time coming from a military background. Standard operating procedure, or You have, like you said, a checklist
Yep.
for the event, because when we're in the heat of things, especially last minute, when we're trying to pull all the last minute details together, we can tend to miss. And I'm not going to use the other word that I was going to use, because I listened to a training this morning on mindset, and it's very, you need to be careful of the words you use.
Yeah.
Because the words you're using can delete things from your brain. So we can miss things that if it was on a checklist and it was in our phone, a notepad or something in our phone, before
Yep.
we walked into an event. Did I do this? Did I do, oh, I forgot to do that. Do I have it with me? Nope. All right. No, I'll do it next time. Remember to take a selfie.
And,
all of
and
that.
I have a checklist for speaking, because I bring backup stuff, I bring a silent timer, I have all this stuff, but I need to add this stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Any other ideas for Irma now that the presentation is over? I mentioned, I think I mentioned it before we hit record. The other thing I would do, Irma, is before we started the recording, you asked if you would wait until they get their packages to call them. And I say no. I would reach out, anybody who filled out that link and you have their information, I would reach out to them and say, you know what? Thank you so much for coming to the presentation and filling out the link. Your package, your surprise is on the way to you in the mail. In the meantime, do you have any questions that I can answer? Or is there anything that you were like, I wonder if it does this, or will it work for that? You know.
And would you do that by email, by text?
I would pick up the phone.
Okay.
I would pick up the phone. I know it's 10,000 pounds. This thing it weighs a lot.
I mean, I much prefer to do that. It just seems that people don't like talking on the phone anymore.
Well, that's all
But
right.
what I could do is leave sometimes what I do if I'm calling an important client or prospect, and I know chances are slim that I get them, is I kind of script out what I'm going to leave a message.
Yep.
So I could do that.
Yep. Machen.
I have some people that never stop texting me, and I don't always respond to them. But when the time's right, I'm going to work with that person because they continue to text me. So there's nothing wrong with just following up with texts too. They don't ever pick up the phone and call me. I've spoken to her one time my whole life, and she's texted me for like 3 years. Hey, just thought you'd be interested in this. Hey, Zoom tonight. Hey, the things tonight. I've never talked to her. I'm not annoyed. I'm very grateful. So don't think that everyone's going to be annoyed just because I am also annoyed at other people that send texts all the time, but they're not as helpful. They didn't send me chocolate in the mail. They don't have great webinars. Their meetings are booked, right? I met her one time. She's smart, great info, but it's always some, hey, sign up for some program. So I'm just like, whenever the program's right for me, but I'm not interested in whatever it is today.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and you can follow up the phone call with a text message. So
that's what I was going to say.
A voicemail, and when they don't answer, or even if they do answer, thanks so much for picking. Lots of people don't pick up the phone. Thanks for picking up the phone and chatting with me today. I hope you have an awesome day. And you could send that text.
You know what the double tap is?
Double tap?
Where you get them. And I get them, and sometimes I'm like, oh, what do you want? Hello, it's a beautiful day. How can I help you? And they go, oh, I'm trying to reach you about something. But somebody calls you, and then they don't leave a voicemail, and then they call you again.
Oh, that's irritating.
It's rude to some people, but if you want to make sales, call them. If you really want to help them, call them. I'm busy. What do you want? I want to help you save time. Oh, thanks. How does that work? You know, it totally conversation when you're really helping people. We really do help people here. So I have no shame in, I go by people's office. I give them a phone call them twice in a row. And then if they don't answer on the second call, text them and say, hey, I was just calling to chat with you about this. Give me a call back when you're free. And then they don't answer, call them again, text them again, send them a postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the follow-up. It sounds not so fun. But the truth is that only 50%
3%.
of people even follow up one time,
Yeah.
ever. And
Yeah.
then by 9 times that we follow up, it's 90% chance of getting a response. So if you're like, I haven't heard back, have you followed up 10 times yet? Because that'll increase your opportunity. Do you follow up 10 times all at once? No. Can you follow up twice at once? Yeah, double tap them. That counts as 2. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
No rules.
Yep. Well, in a phone call and a text, and you sent the package, so they already opted in. So here's the thing. You already had a presentation. That's 1. They filled out the form and they're getting a package. That's 2. Your phone call, that's 3. Your text message, that's 4. You're halfway to what 90% of salespeople won't do. And if you stop there, guess what? You're doing the work for your competition. Don't. Either don't follow up at all or follow through with your follow up so that you get the sale and not somebody else.
That's interesting. You're doing the work for your competition.
Yeah,
And
you are doing the work. I say that in my presentations. You're doing the work for your competition.
There's a very specific, very, very predictable, very scientific proof that if it takes 10 follow-ups to get the no, and you do 8 follow-ups and someone follows up and they just call them one time, they're going to get the yes or the no. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why you're doing it. So no reason to do like 4 follow-ups and give up.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing half the work for somebody else who's going to go, oh, I saw some postcards online. You should check this out. And they just send them, some Facebook thing, and they're not really helping them versus what we can do.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So the key today is don't do the work for your competition.
Wow. I
Don't
love that.
do the work today for your competition to swoop in and take that person from you.
Drop the mic.
Yep. So I want to go, unless somebody else has suggestions for Irma, Kimberly had been kind enough to put a post out on Facebook about our affiliate call, and let's talk about professions that people have challenges with or would like to know how to approach. And the first one was Suzanne. And Suzanne asked for suggestions to approach a large women's organization that she believes are currently using a competitor. And so let's talk about that. How do you approach a women's organization? And I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I got about 5 on the tip of my tongue, but I know Marie and Lulu and Kimberly probably can chime in.
I think I don't have an answer, but I think it's an interesting question because it was my birthday recently, and I got a birthday card from a lady that I would love to be using Mailbox Power, and from a competitor, and I know it's a competitor because their branding's all over it. So y'all know who that is.
Yep.
So I didn't want to say thanks for the card. Hey, you should switch. So I just said thanks for the card, but I do want to approach her again.
So I'm going to answer that one first, and then we're going to go to Suzanne. So I'm kind of like Machen, and there are days, and today I'm being bold, and some days I can't do this. So I'm going to be honest. This isn't Brenda 100% of the time. But if I got a text like that, and I have gotten birthday cards, and I have done this. Thanks so much for the birthday card. I have a quick question for you. I know that system inside out and backwards, and I know that you have to hit send every single year for the birthday card. Would you be interested in learning about a system that you put the person in once and they get a birthday card for the rest of their life without ever having to hit send again on the button? Something like that.
Some kind of difference that we have, which we know there's many, but to me, that's huge. And I think for most people, because they're already using a system to save time, but that's not really saving them as much time as it could save them if they were using Mailbox Power. The fact that you can set it and forget it and just change the card once a year rather than going through and adding all those people to resend.
Yeah.
That's such a time saver.
And I'm going to chime in here. If you don't change the card out every year and they get the same birthday card every year, at least they got a birthday card every year from you,
right?
Whether you remember or not.
Well, it's true.
It's true. That would be my point, is one way or another, they're getting one. It might be a repeat, but how many people remember? Now, if you're the only card they're getting every year, they're probably going to remember it. But seriously, if they got several cards, are they going to remember that that was the exact card you used the year before?
Yep.
So let's go back to Suzanne's. Marie, Kimberly, Lulu, Andrea, any ideas for Suzanne?
Well, the first thing I would say is, when you say an association, I would want to find out who's the person, you know, who's the decision maker with this group. Because otherwise you're wasting your time.
Yeah, I know who it is. I know who they are, because I'm also a part of the association. And to believe it or not, they used to be Mailbox Power, and then they just weren't using it. And then all of a sudden, evidently somebody else came in with this other thing and they joined that. So, you know, and I've talked to them, I've sent them stuff. I've done as many follow-ups as I could possibly do to get them to use it. What I was wondering is, you know, and I went to look at the competition to see how it works, because I used to be part of that same group. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out, you know, really what they do, how they do it, if it's anything like what, you know, Mailbox Power is. I mean, do they have automations? Do they, you know, like you said, I mean, I don't know. And I can't say, well, you know, we can do this. Does your group do that? How do you approach that?
So you do the research, Suzanne. If you know somebody using it, you ask them to log into their account. But you can figure it out. Yeah, it takes a lot of investigative work. I will say that, because I've done this recently to figure out what the offers are right now. And yes, in a way, they do automations. But when you automate, it costs more. As a business owner, if you automate something or you do large sends, do you want to pay more or do you want to pay less because you're doing it automated or doing large sends? You're using large quantity. If you're doing large quantity, do you want to do them one at a time? The answer most likely is no. Okay. Would you like a way to not only save time, but save money doing it and get a better return? Because when it's automated, and all truly automated, because we could do a 5-year follow-up.
Yeah, I looked at their pricing and they had, like, I don't know, 6 or so plans, you know, and that was confusing.
Impossible.
It was very confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, just like, I never want to put any other, right. Negative. I never want to do that, but I can say, you know, you can, I say this all the time, like, I loved that system when I was introduced to it because I'd never seen anything like it. And I decided to do a business with this, you know, make it a business. But it was not so easy because there were so many different types of plans, and it was just confusing. And when I saw this and how streamlined it is, and that it's the platform is what is always being made better, rather than putzing around with all the plans and this thing and that thing. That to me is like the emperor's new clothes. Like it's not really the meat and potatoes of what a business person wants. This system is designed for business people.
Yep.
And I say that to people, like, let me show you. I haven't been in that business for a while, but let me show you what I do know. So I don't really know that anymore, but let me show you what I do know.
Yep.
And then you can decide.
Yep. And I love that.
Usually with an associate, with a group, I don't know about this particular one, Suzanne, but it's usually, you know, someone who is a rep or the particular company who happens to be in the association who gets the account and manages it for the association. So often the person who made the decision to go with it really doesn't know how the system works. Yep. They just went with it.
And they may not even know if the system is being used to its highest and best purpose.
Right.
If somebody else is managing it. So how do they know?
Well, and I would go back to one, I was going to say, become a member of the organization, but Suzanne already said she is. And number two is, and not everybody wants to do this. And I'm not sure Suzanne does. So this might be something to think about. It doesn't mean you're going to do it in the future, but Marie just said something that was a golden nugget, and I don't know if everybody heard it. And that's, you're a part of the organization. If you want the organization to grow, if you want the organization to succeed, you volunteer your time. You don't charge. You volunteer your time to send the cards, to set up the automations, and to do that for them so that they don't have to think about it. And that is exactly probably what happened. If they were with Mailbox Power and they left, it was probably somebody came in, like Marie said, and if they were struggling to use it, the system, Mailbox Power before, this person probably came in and said, hey, you know, I'll do it all for you. So it doesn't matter to them that it might cost them a little bit more, or that, like Marie said, they don't know that it's clunkier and it takes more time. They just know it's being done for them, and it's their mission, or the purpose of signing up has been accomplished.
Yep.
So how would I approach them with that idea? Being that they were part of it once and now they're doing something else, would I go back? Because I know the person who was doing it. I mean, I know the person who was doing it, and she knew what she was. I mean, she was good. She was very good on a computer and stuff, but they just weren't using it to the full advantage. And I kept stressing, you know, things like, you know, it's really important to let your members know that you're thinking of them on their birthday. You know, I said, if you do something just as simple as that, you know, that would really keep the group going. And it's a large group of people. It's a large group of women.
Suzanne, I'd be honest with the person. I'd go, this is me. I would go back to that person and I would say, you used to be a Mailbox Power customer, and now I see, I've gotten other stuff in the mail, and I see that you're using a different system. I'm curious because I need to know for the future, and I need to know how to better my business. Can I ask you? So here's my text when somebody cancels. Hold on. Their membership. Let me find it because I have it in a note in my phone so that I can just copy and paste. Hi.
And you copy and paste into the
not into Zoom, not into Zoom, but I can put it in the Mailbox Power affiliate group. Or Machen's going to type, it looks like, as I'm saying it. So, hi, whoever. Hope you're doing well. Saw you canceled your Mailbox Power membership today or yesterday or last week. I tried to do it the same day because sometimes they cancel and their membership really isn't up for another week or 2 weeks, or they just got hit with a their membership and it's a month away before it renews, but they went in and they remembered to cancel today. So I'd say, hope you're doing well. Saw you canceled your Mailbox Power membership blank today, yesterday, whatever. Can I ask what made you cancel? And then, depending on what they come back with, oh, you know, I've had to cut back on expenses, whatever it is, if this is appropriate, did you know that we just recently launched a $29 membership and that $29 membership includes 10 cards each month? Think about that for a second. Why? And I used to have a different one. Can I ask what made you cancel? I used to say, to help me improve my business. So you can add to help me improve my business, or so that I know and I can inform corporate, although corporate is asking now when people cancel why. And maybe that's why I took it out, because they're filling something out and I don't want them to feel like they're having to answer that question twice. But you know, it helps me to serve my clients better. Can I ask what made you cancel? And it's astonishing the things you'll find out. Many people don't want to reach out when somebody's canceled. They're like, oh, I don't want to stir the hornet's nest or whatever. But sometimes you're going to find out they had a death in the family, or business isn't going well, or they need to cut back on expenses, or they have a sick family member, something, and you can say, oh, I'm so sorry. How can I help? How can I help? Or if they say, you know, business is really fallen off, I'd love to sit down and strategize with you, because I've been in marketing now for blank number of years. I can say over 12 years. Been in marketing now over 12 years. I might have some ideas of how you could grow your business. Would you be open to a discussion?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Machen, did you have something else you wanted to contribute? I see your hands up.
Always. I have to put my hand over my mouth if I don't want to say something. I was just thinking what we're talking about is there's a couple different things. Some of it's support and service, and some of it's just objection handling in the beginning stages. And your situation's a little bit complex. But no matter what, there's a framework that I use that keeps it from having to be like specific to each exact conversation. You can humanize things, like Lulu was saying, like here's the truth, and like Brenda was saying, like be honest and like address the things. That's like humanizing. It's just, I'm not a machine over here going, well, are you going to buy this or not? You know, that's weird and it's uncomfortable. But there's a mechanism called Feel, Felt, Found. I'm sure you've heard of it a million times. But you say like, oh, I completely understand. And then you explain how you have felt a similar way and how you found something.
Right.
So you go, hey, I feel like that too. I felt frustrated. I felt like I was overspending. You know, and then I found this membership. I found the $29 membership. I found this solution. I found post. I found automation. Whatever the solution is. But what I was going to say, I forgot specifically was having people sell themselves. So when we ask a question like the best salespeople, go, I just love sales. So like when someone goes, hey, so what got you looking for a computer today? And you're at Best Buy. And you're not looking for a computer, you're just like standing 12 feet away. I'm like, who are you? I like you. Immediately, because they're using a trick to let us sell ourselves. Why am I looking for a computer? My old computer's slow. It doesn't work hard. Oh, this one's good. Well, that one says a lot of money. Well, your old computer's slow, and they give you all the reasons. So when we just ask somebody, so if we could get to a point, so we could say something like, what I was going to say to you, Suzanne, was like, when we get to the point where we say, hey, it's absolutely reasonable. I totally understand that like right now is not the best time or whatever. And you could do that follow-up like everybody's saying. the thing is, like, we can address it and say, hey, look, I know it's not uncommon and it makes perfect sense. Should I put you on a 3-month follow-up? Should I follow up with you? And then set that date, that book a meeting from a meeting. Because if we start losing people and then we chase them and then we go, well, hold on, and I know which system you're using and I'm in your business and come here. It's like, we can't push people. We have to just remove all the stuff that's in the way and then let them make the decision themselves. And so it's kind of like, if you meet with them or you send them something, it would be like, I would do this. With your current situation, me personally, I would say, like, I would send that phone call or that text message or that email, something that they can see, and then send stuff in the mail regularly, plus emails that just talk about success of people using our system. So it'd be like, hey, I get it right now. It's not a great time. And I want to schedule something in a few weeks for a more formal time to, like, sit down. But for now, I'll just email you some incredible success cases. I'll just email you some incredible stuff to pique your interest. Be honest. That's why you're sending it. If you give it because it's really important. So you go, hey, I'll just send you some of our success cases to pique your interest. And if it does, I'd love for us to keep our commitment. I'd love for us to keep our time. So, like, hey, I'm gonna send you stuff. If it's interesting, then we'll talk in 3 months. If not, no worries. And then you just keep following up. And sometimes they're like, oh, I'm not, maybe they don't give you the time. Then you just say, like, hey, should I put you on? Essentially, we're saying fear of missing out. Like, I know what I got. It's posturing is what it's called in sales, but it's going like, I know what I got is good, and it's going to be here later. And so should I take you off my list and never talk to you again? It's kind of rude. So instead we go, should I put you on a 6-month follow-up? Should I put you on a 3-month follow-up? I hate 6 months because I can't. It's too long. But should I put you on a 3-month follow-up? And then that is really hard to say no to because they're like, whatever, get out of my hair. And then you send them stuff that piques their interest. And you just continue to do what you do naturally and follow up. And they'll make the decision themselves, or they won't. And then there's nothing that you've done wrong, and you don't have to worry about it.
So the other thing I was going to say, Suzanne, the piquing the interest, like Machen's talking about, we have that new automation of postcards that are they replace the what if, and I'm trying to remember the name of them. Does anybody remember the name?
Yeah, I downloaded that. I know what you're talking about.
And that, because that is going to highlight, without you having to say it, it's going to highlight the differences and what makes us special over other, unique over other systems. Well, I've kept you guys way over. Next week, Kimberly is training. So looking forward to that. She's like, I am. Yes, you're training next week. So put it on your calendar. And then on the 27th, Lulu had also asked in the affiliate group about lawyers, especially personal injury attorneys. So we will talk about that at the end of the month, the 27th. So if you start thinking of ideas for Lulu, and if you have any other businesses that you want help with, please go chime in to Kimberly's post on the affiliate group and tell us what you need help with. And that way we can all be thinking about answers for you. Lulu.
Is it the winning in business automation that you're talking about?
I think so. It's postcards.
It's a series of postcards.
And
and it's like here, I'll just look at, let's create stronger business connections.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's also one called What is Mailbox Power? But
the what if, oh, it might be what is.
That's what I'm thinking is the new one.
The what if is the old one. The what, I think it's what is. Hold on, because
where will I find that?
What is Mailbox Power? So that is going to be in the automations, and it's going to be under find and acquire, probably.
Find and engage.
Find and engage. If it's not there, look under retention or.
And it's called What is Mailbox Power? Okay.
What is? Yep. Thank you, Machen.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, here it is.
Run.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got to run. We got the grandkids. So I will see you next Monday for Kimberly's training.
Woohoo! Looking forward to it. Bye.